It is really difficult to give things up. Once you have them, you want to hang on to them. And that's sort of a fault that works against us when it comes to things which have a subscription model associated with them. Have you ever thought about how you've got Amazon Prime and you've got Hulu and you've got Netflix and you've got maybe a game subscription and you've got a bunch of other little things that you subscribe to in the Google Play Store, and you've got your phone and your internet and your car insurance and a bunch of other extra things that you pay for because it's something that you might need, and why wouldn't you want to be proactive on the front side and just have it available? Next thing you know, you're paying hundreds, thousands of dollars every year for things that are not things you're buying, not with your own volition to say, I want this, I'm going to get it, and then I'm going to have it. It's, I'm going to pay over and over again, continually, perpetually, for the rest of my life for this, potentially. And then it's kind of like an airplane that has a bunch of stuff on it that's creating drag and reducing its ability to produce lift. You can have a little bit, but then you have more and more, and it just adds up over time, and it gets to be such a burden. And you don't even think about it being a burden because you think you can't possibly just cancel all those services. And that's what they want you to think. They want you to think you're not going to be okay if you cancel, because it would be like ending a relationship. Maybe not a good relationship, but a toxic one that says you can't leave. You can't go out there and find anything else that's going to be better. If you don't pay your dues, you're going to wind up lost forever, hopeless, and forlorn and forgotten. And that's what all of these companies that are producing services with a membership want you to think. They want you to think that if you cancel your gym membership, you're going to be fat and out of shape. And if you cancel your streaming movie services, you're going to be unentertained and you're going to miss out on all of the good things that are interesting and enjoyable on television or the big screen. They want you to think that if you don't buy every insurance policy and product under the sun, you're going to wind up losing out in the end. As a matter of fact, if you don't pay a bunch of money to somebody to pay out other people when you die, you're going to somehow lose out. And it's the best business in the world to be able to get people to just give you money, and you don't really have to give them anything. They just think they're getting something. Take a game subscription, because this is something I've thought about quite a bit. You play a MMO game and you have a subscription associated with it. You pay $10 a month, $15 a month, probably about 15. Most games wind up being at least around there for MMOs. Whether it's like a battle pass sort of thing or maybe a actual membership you have to pay to play. It's gonna add up to somewhere around probably $170 a year, maybe something like that. How much game can you buy for $170 a year? You can get a lot of games that are premium AAA title games for less than what you would pay for that one subscription, and then at the end of the year you're still going to have to keep on paying year after year for this. Is that game you're paying a membership for really that good? Is it that good? So as the years go by, you're you just need more and more of it. And then after a decade, how much have you sunk in this game? Thousands of dollars, and you have games in your Steam library that cost you $50 for the whole game for the entire duration of time you're going to want to play it. And then you have some other game where you're going to easily sink $500 into it during the life of your playtime. But then the marketing strategy is going to try to make you convinced there isn't anything else that's better. You have to keep on doing this, because if you don't, you're going to miss out. You can't afford not to. And then, of course, on the other side of this, there's the temptation we have to never be content with what we have. We never exhaust what we have and then move on to something else when we've exhausted all the content in our current arsenal of things we're trying to do. We always start something and then we want to move on and do something else. And it's like, all right, I have a bunch of games I'm sitting on in my library, and I haven't played a lot of them, or barely installed them. Just thought they looked really cool on some afternoon, and out comes the credit card, and now I have this game, and I'm excited that I have it, but I didn't actually play it very much. Maybe I played it for a couple of hours, and then it just sat there. And I'm going to get to it one day, but I haven't got to it yet. And then there's another one that I see, something else that's new, that catches my eye, and I think, wow, that is so awesome, that's so cool. And now, what do I want to do? I don't want to go play the one that I already bought that I haven't actually played. I want to go buy another one. Something else that's new and shiny and cool looking when you see the trailer for it, that I'm going to do the same thing with. Play it a little bit, enough to think it's cool, and then not mess with it anymore. Because I haven't mastered the simplicity of just doing one thing completely and fully at a time, and then moving on to something else. Same thing with a subscription membership. It's not that you never, ever are going to have a subscription for anything. I mean, you're gonna have to pay bills. If you don't own a house, you're going to have to pay rent. If you do own a house, you're going to have to pay some kind of property tax or something like that. There's going to be something that you have to pay to routinely maintain your existence. And you aren't going to get out of having car insurance. You're not going to be able to get out of having to pay to have an internet connection, because these are things that if you want to have a certain quality of life, you're going to just have to pay some bills. But that doesn't mean that you have to subscribe to everything in life. It doesn't mean that you have to default to a subscription model for every single thing under the sun. And that's where we go wrong, because we live in a time where subscriptions with high-speed internet and connectivity unlike anything ever before, it's super easy to just fall into that cycle and then get trapped in it and feel like you can't get out. So I would encourage you, I'd challenge you, cancel some subscriptions. See how much you miss them. Sure, you can always sign up again, but see if you really miss them. See how much you miss them. You might be surprised to find you don't. And before you sign up for something new, check and see. Take an inventory of what you already have. Have you exhausted all your current projects? Have you really depleted the content you currently have? Or are you guilty of always looking for something new and shiny when you still have good things that you need to work on that you have right there in front of you and you haven't actually realized to their full potential. These are things to think about. It applies to gaming, it applies to every aspect of our lives. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, goodbye.